Ignited crew. My first video of 2026. How y'all doing? If you're catching the replay, this is a live. So if you're dropping a comment, it won't be in real time. Welcome to January. As y'all see in the title, I said most people won't live to see their dream. How can I say this? Just look around. The average person may talk about what they want, might even complain, but are they going to do something about it? Think about the jobs that you've worked on, the employees that you've met, and the number of them that have talked about the company, bad mouth management. But how many have actually made a change? Now, anybody can quit the job. People quit daily. But when you quit one job, what's the alternative? Do you just go and work another job? Or are you quitting that job to get yourself in a better predicament? You see, that's the question that we should ask ourselves. Am I a mediocre person based off the decisions that I make? You see, I've learned, and I'm continuing to see and learn, that everyone who's talking about what they want are not motivated to pursue what they want. How many of y'all have seen the movie Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith and his son? In that movie, and yes, it was a movie, but it's based off someone's story. Public information, you can look it up. You saw what he went through. And in certain parts of the movie, you probably threw your opinion in there. Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is the sound okay? But in the movie, you saw him in some pretty compromising positions. And you probably said to yourself, oh, he should have did this better. He should have did that better. And he could have made it quicker. But how you doing? Is this sound okay? Last time I was on here, y'all were saying y'all couldn't hear me. Can you hear me now? But I'm talking about, okay, good. And thank you so much. Thank you for being here. So I'm talking about the average person won't live to see their dreams come true because they're not willing to pursue it. So in the movie, The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith and his son, Jaden, they're telling a story about a man. And we sat back and we watched that movie and we had our opinions, we had our speculations. But if you actually look up that movie and who it's based off, you can see that this is a true story. That man was in pursuit of happiness and he actually reached the goal. But in doing so, look at what he went through. And based off one of the interviews he made, that movie doesn't even scratch the surface of everything that he went through. Pursuing that which the role that he now sits in. This is why I can say, and even you too, if you look at yourself, how many promises have you made yourself? How many vows have you made to yourself and you haven't kept it? We don't even have to talk about the promises that have been made to other people in relationships, the promises you made to your children, the promises you made to your job, the promises that you make to God. All these things that you say you're going to do you keep your word? So this is how I can say most people, or the average person, will never see their dreams come true. Another aspect of it is excuses. We'll say we want something, but then we have an excuse. One of the reasons why people say they want better or they want something different is because of comparison. You start looking around, looking at your family members, looking at people on your job, people that you go to school with, colleagues, your classmates. You look at their lives and you start comparing their lives to yours. Oh, I'm 40 now, and the other 40-year-olds, they already own a home. They have their own business, and look at me. I'm working for Blockbuster. I need to do a whole lot better than that. I'm telling my age now. I know Blockbuster don't exist anymore, but I was born in the 80s. Okay, so Blockbuster. But what other place can I think of? Let's just say, for argument's sake, you 32 years old, you 23 years old, and you looking at other 23-year-olds, and they're owning homes. You see them on social media, ribbon cutting ceremony. They're in Dubai. They're in Africa, Hawaii, living it up, allegedly, according to what they're putting on social media, because they don't put on social media when they calling mama and daddy or calling a friend, hey, can I get $45? Can you send me $1,000? Can you send me a Zelle until next Friday? We don't see that stuff on social media, but you see a lot of flexing on social media. And I'm not saying that everybody is flexing, but a lot of people are flexing on social media. And so then we have people that start looking at that and comparing themselves. Look at my classmates. They're all married now, and look at me. Oh, I'm single. Oh, I don't have any kids now, but everybody I know, they have families, and look at me. Oh, poor me. Oh, whoa. Forgetting that everybody has their own path. Just because your friends are married, it doesn't mean that they're sufficient, fulfilled, excited about their spouses, doing great as partners. It doesn't mean that. Marriage is not the end all be all. Parenting is not the end all be all. But some of us have been sold that. And you live your life day in and out, comparing yourself to others who have what you don't have. Now, that was just an example about marriage. But let's move on more so into the progressive part of who we are on the inside, the progressive part of what we do, our vocations. A lot of people can't live their dreams because they show up with an excuse. You say you want this thing, but you have an excuse as to why you can't obtain it. You're concerned about your age, your gender, your physical appearance, your socioeconomic status. And those things stop you from pursuing that which you want. Back on the movie Pursuit of Happiness, did he have money in that movie? Will Smith, but he was playing somebody else. But the actor Will Smith, the role that he played, did he have money? Or was he pursuing his interest, and he was impoverished in the movie? He didn't have much, barely making it. But daily, we saw on the movie, he was still pursuing what was important to him. He wanted a better life. And we saw that. Right now, you may not see it on social media because social media doesn't show this. Social media shows a lot of showboating and flexing. But there are some people right now who are pursuing happiness, who are pursuing purpose. They say they want better and they're pursuing better. And it's not easy. It's a lot of dirty work. It's embarrassing. It's a lot of sacrificial days, and your discipline has to be at 100% and higher when you're trying to pursue a better life, because there's so much that could try to keep us down. But there are reasons why a lot of people will never see it. Most people, they take in information just like right now. They'll watch a video, listen to a podcast, read a book, and the information, before it can settle, doubt has already set in. That's another reason why. self-sabotage. People doubt that they can have better. They believe that who they are and what they have is it. They'll always be in the same drop shot city they were raised in. They'll never reach another milestone in life. Some people view themselves like this. Although they may say, oh, I want to live in a better neighborhood. Oh, I want to be debt free. These statements are made, but rarely is anything done about it. Here in America, this is another reason why capitalism is at an all-time high. A lot of people are tribal. Whatever they are given is what they take. Even the things that they don't like, the average person won't even speak up about what they don't like. How do I know this? I keep running into situations where I'm told, like my OBGYN, my last baby that I had, my OBGYN told me, he said, you're one of my most stubborn patients. Why did he tell me that? Because I was unwilling to have a blood transfusion. He continued to push it and continued to push it, and I continued to deny it. I'm not having a blood transfusion. I don't care what you say. I will do what I need to do for myself, continue to take care of myself. I know I'm pregnant. I know my numbers may be up and down, but I'm telling you, I'm going to go home and take care of myself, and I will not have a blood transfusion. And I didn't. After I had my baby, 2 days later, and they did blood work on me, guess what? My blood levels had increased better than what they were before I was pregnant. So it's like common sense. When a woman is pregnant, her levels are up and down. She's going through various things. And I'm not telling you not to get a blood transfusion or whatever it is that you're facing. I'm talking about me. So if I would have got a blood transfusion, how would that have benefited my life? If anything, I was taking on a risk by doing so. Based off that, he told me that I was one of his most stubborn patients. He doesn't get that every day. He said usually when he tells somebody to do something, they do it. And in my head, I'm thinking, this is the culture of it. Thousands of people listen to what they're being told and they take it as law. Whether or not they're going to suffer, never mind that. They just take someone else's word for it. You do understand that everybody that we deal with is a human being, flawed. The same doctor who you're listening to, and I'm not telling you not to go to the doctor. I believe they have their place. But the same doctor that you're listening to, this could be a doctor who barely made it through school, making C's. You do know that a C is passing, right? If you're in college, a C is passing. So what if this is a person that's operating on you and they barely made it through, all C's, no A's, nowhere on their transcript, but they're telling you what you should do, which will ultimately alter your life negatively. So not only am I that way as far as my health, but any other aspect of life. I've been hearing that since I was a kid. Oh, you can be quite stubborn. Oh, you're so stubborn. Stubborn may have a negative connotation, but an aspect of being stubborn can be wise too. Because I'm not bending with everything you tell me to do. Because you're playing music, it don't mean that I dance. Because you tell me to jump, it doesn't mean that I say how high. When you tell me something, I'm going to process it and I'm going to see, how does that fit in with my life and lifestyle? Is that going to benefit myself and family? Or are you telling me this information so that I can make a move that's going to benefit you, but in the future, I suffer? So people may call it stubborn, but I'm calling it wise. My eyes are open. You can't just tell me something and I just go with it. So this is why I say the average person or most people, they'll never see their dreams come true because they'll allow doubt to take over, their fears, self-sabotage, criticism of others, current circumstances, previous failures, and a host of other things get in the way of what they desire. As I sit here today, I understand where I am. I'm in America, And this is a capitalist society. Before we can even spend our money, if you work, there's a percentage that's already taken out. You didn't make that decision. Somebody else made that decision for you. Before you move to a place to stay, there are all kind of contracts to lock you in here, to lock you in there. And a lot of people don't read those contracts. And when something goes wrong, now that's being thrown in your face. Hey, you didn't read the contract because you took someone's word at face value. You didn't research it for yourself. That's another way how people get, they say they took 2 steps forward, but they ended up taking 5 steps back because you relied on someone's word. Someone shook your hand and say, oh yeah, this is the contract. Everything is great. We're going to take good care of you. You're in good hands with this company. You're in good hands with this company, with this job, with this dealership. You're in great company. We're going to take good care of you. You won't regret this. And 6 months later, you're in debt. And now you're looking for that person whose hand you shook. You're looking for that person when you signed that contract and they told you, oh, just sign right here. The paragraph just says that. It just says this. You better take that extra time and say, no, excuse me. I know you might have to take a lunch break, but I might have to come back tomorrow after I've had time to go over this contract. The contract is 18 pages and they're just pointing for you. Sign here, sign there, sign here. Just put your John Henry there. And you have no idea what it says. You're just signing. You're signing your life away. This is what have happened to a lot of singers, people in the entertainment industry. They took someone's word at face value and they signed away their rights. They signed away their royalties, signed away their earnings. People who were big time, all over the news, all over the TV, all over the radio. And now, right now, today, you can't find them because they trusted someone. In this life, you have to learn how to go at your own intuition. You have to learn how to do your own research. You can't rely on a human being to tell you everything that you need to know. It could be an honest oversight that they didn't tell you. It could be unintentional that they didn't tell you. The person could have been in a rush trying to take care of something in their life, and they were rushing you to sign off on something, and it ruined your life. Well, I won't say your whole life, because I don't believe that people can have that much control over you. But it may set you back a couple of seasons, set you back a couple of years, and now you have to rebuild yourself. So if you've gone through something like that, take that as a lesson and never do it again. Stop being so trusting of people. That can have you taking so many steps back. This is the beginning of January, though, y'all. It's the beginning of January. And it's just something that I've seen since I was a child. A lot of people talk. Most people talk about what they want and what they're going to do. But not a lot of people follow up. And this is how companies, businesses, government, this is how they can take over people's lives and ultimately control it. Because the average person may not like it, but they're not going to say anything. At least say something where it matters. Talking in the break room doesn't change anything. Sitting in the house on the phone having gossip sessions and venting sessions, that don't change anything. Until you make an active move for your life, you'll never see change. You have to be disciplined. Even on days when you don't want to be, you have to continue to be disciplined because you understand that you're sowing a seed. Every step that you make is another step closer to the goal. And unfortunately, a lot of people will never see it. They'll live a mediocre life, be faced with situations that they hate, that they despise, but because they're unwilling to step up to the plate and be uncomfortable, they just have to settle with however the chips may fall. I don't know about you, but I don't want that for me. I don't want that for mine or anyone attached to me. Life is so precious. Life is fragile. Challenges, joys. I mean, life is like a roller coaster. 2025 was a roller coaster for me. It really was. But you know what? Instead of me crawling under the cover, I continued to show up. There are days when I didn't want to get out of bed, but I continued to show up. And although I'm not exactly where I want to be, I'm definitely not where I was last January. My life has done a 360 with the strength that God has given me, the decisions that I've made. My life has made a 360. If I would allow doubt, fear, the unknown, that's another thing. When you don't know what's going to happen when you take a leap, when you don't know where you'll end up when you make a new decision that you've never had to make before, that's definitely triggering. Like, oh my God, I have this idea. I have this thought. It's something that I want to do, but I'm scared. Where am I going to end up if I do this? Am I going to lose it all if I make this decision? But you already know what life already is based off the decisions that you've made. And is it good enough for you? If it's not, that's your intuition telling you to go ahead and take that leap and stop being afraid. We have to stop being afraid to fall. We have to stop being afraid to skin our knee, to bump our head on the wall. It's going to happen. I'd rather take a leap, fall, get up, gather myself, learn the lesson, and keep it moving than just to be sitting here years later saying, I wish I made that move. You know what I'm saying? Or never knowing what it's like to see my potential, never knowing what it's like to see, am I really courageous? Am I really a soldier? Am I really victorious? How do you know you're victorious if you've never fought in a battle? How do you know you're resilient if you've never withstood the test of time, y'all? How? How do you know your strength if it's never been tested? You just sit in the house talking about what you can't do and who's never done it in the family. And even this video is going to go across a lot of people's head. Some people are going to be offended by it, triggered. But then probably less than 3% will say, Internet, you're right. I can't live like this anymore. Like, I despise what life is. I don't like how I'm still operating under the control of somebody else. You may not want to admit it, but if you want something out of life, you have to work for it. If you want to eat, you have to work. Unless you're going to steal resources, unless someone's going to have pity for you and feed you, unless you go stand in the line for a plate of food. If you want a place to stay, you have to work for it, to pay for a place to stay. Unless you're going to live on the street, unless somebody's going to give you a place to stay, unless you're going to bombard your way into an empty building. It takes money. It takes resources. So we have to work. It's a part of life. My thing is, does it have to be where you're so overworked that you can't make progress in other areas that can actually get your life further? You're so overworked to the point to you're discouraged to do anything else. Sometimes I think it's by design. Companies, it's by design that you work a certain amount of hours that you work and the demand that they put on you, so that when by the time you get home, you don't want to do anything except for go to sleep. And then with the cost of living, The average person can't afford to say, I need to take a week off. Because if you do that, your earnings will be short and you won't be able to take care of your monthly obligations. Don't y'all see that? Don't you think it's time for a change? Don't you think it's time for a change? Before I let you go, tell me one thing. How has your life changed when you've done nothing about it? Has life just rained things down on you from the sky and you had nothing to do with it? The life that you have right now, did life rain down you a beautiful 5-bedroom home that you just walked into? You have the deed. You don't have to pay nothing for it, not even the taxes. Has life done that to you? Did you walk out the door and life just had a beautiful Corvette or your dream car in the road, in the driveway with a big red bow on it, with the title to the car and a note on the side that say, your insurance is paid for. You don't have to pay any insurance. Everything is yours. Has life done that for you? Are you woken up in the morning with someone tapping you on the shoulder and say, all you have to do is just wake up and I can take it the rest of the way. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to bathe yourself. I have someone here that's going to give you a bath, feed you. They're even going to brush your teeth. You don't have to do anything except for wake up. And everything is going to be handled for you. How many of you listen to me right now are living that kind of life? Baby, you have to work for what you want, or somebody else is working for you. Or you're in a predicament where you're just receiving things. And even in that, somebody had to pay for it, right? Somebody had to do some type of groundwork for you to get resources that you don't have to pay for. So either way around it, somebody had to work. Somebody had to put in the blood, sweat, tears, ideas. Somebody had to. The organization. Why can't that person be you? If we want better, we have to do better. And the average person is just talking. I've seen it, and I'm sure you have too. But the most conveying story is yourself. How far back are you on your goals? Have you kept your word as far as what you said you wanted? You said 3 years ago you was going to be a millionaire. You said you was going to be a 2021. We better have some fun. 2022. I'm about to get on my grind. 2023. I'm taking the world by storm. I'm gonna own 2-3 houses. Where are you on that? Oh, 2022, I'm losing 100 pounds. Where are you on that? Did you keep your word? It's easy to talk about it, folks. It's easy to dream. It's easy to think you're going to be somewhere. But the true work is in disciplining yourself to get it done. And the average person is not willing to consistently sacrifice and be uncomfortable, because growth is uncomfortable. Healing is uncomfortable. Breaking out of one area to get to the next is uncomfortable. Even if you play a video game and you're trying to get to the next level, what happens? The little monsters and things, they get larger and larger. It gets more difficult and more difficult. Video games are much like life. It gets more difficult the further you go. And so the average person is like, I don't want to do all that. I don't have time for that. I know that my life right now, it's pretty much certain. It's secure. I know how I'm going to get paid. I'm comfortable with this neighborhood. I know the city. So I'm not going to do anything to interrupt that pattern. And so then, in that case, don't complain anymore. Be content. Be satisfied where you are. If you're not willing to do anything to change your life, no matter how much you hate it, you shouldn't even complain. I mean, it's your right as a human to say whatever you want. But isn't that like redundant? You complaining about the very thing you're not willing to change? After a couple of times, you should, come on, like step into like solution mode. Like, I'm tired of this. I'm frustrated with this. So, okay, so what's the solution? We know the solution in talking about it and complaining about it, saying what you're going to do and you never make a move. We already know where that can get us. It doesn't get you anywhere. So don't be an average person. Don't be average. January 3rd. Be the type of person that's resilient for real. Be the type of person that when you say something, you mean that thing. Be the type of person to make realistic goals based off what you're willing to do and unwilling to do. You may not be able to move like you did when you were in your 20s, if you're now 50. Things change as life progresses. And we have to change and move with it. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? This is Ignited, the crew who finish what they start. So if you've started something and it's a good thing, I'm rooting for you to complete it. I know it's not easy. Change is not easy, but it's necessary. It's a lot that I see that go on in this country, in America. A lot of things that I do not like. I see how people have been suppressed by it. I see how the very thing that causes one group of people to rise is the same thing that causes other groups to diminish. All you have to do is open your eyes and look around. Knowing these things, it's time for you to get in control of your life and stop allowing other people to make decisions for you. Because if you don't make a decision, understand that that is a decision. And when people find out that you're not willing to stand up for yourself, your own rights, your belief, morals, standards, they're going to impose theirs on you. And they will eventually win. Because the average person is just part of the sheep headed towards the slaughter. Let me say it again because I was stumbling. The average person is a sheep headed toward the slaughter. Get out of the line. Stop being a sheep. Just stop. Because what other direction can you go besides where you're told? The shepherd's constantly keeping you in line. If you have an idea, if you have a dream, if you have aspirations and goals, if the spirit is telling you to do something different, you're trying to get out of the line, but the shepherd with the stick is constantly pushing you back in the line. Get out of that line. No, you can't tell me what to do no more. I'm not no more for you. I'm not staying in this line. This life doesn't work for me. This life is headed towards the lake. I'm not just gonna walk in the lake with my eyes wide open. I'm not doing this. Can't you see that life as we've known it, some of the traditions that we've had, some of the ways that you've been taught, it does not work for you. It's keeping you in poverty. It's keeping you in a cycle. And what happens in a cycle? It's the same results. It's just like a carousel at the festival. One speed, one motion, and the destination is always the starting point. You got to get out of the sheep line. You got to get off the carousel ride. Take off the wristband. I can't do this anymore. As a matter of fact, I'm leaving the theme park because my life is not a game. My life is serious to me. I'm leaving the theme park. And I'm taking on life full force. All faith. and no fear. All faith and no fear. And even at times when fear does creep up, I'm moving against fear. I'm not letting that spirit hold me back because I know what happened to me. See, we got to think. We got to let our minds, this computer up here, we have to let the computer help us progress. What happened last time fear got a hold of you? What happened last time you had those excuses? Not me, not anymore. Y'all have a good day. Thank you to all of you who tuned in. I appreciate it. Oh, I love what you said. I love what you said. Newt Boy YT. He says, you are speaking facts. Life is about being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And then he also said, I don't think any of us are where we want to be. The trick is being grateful and striving for the plentiful and healthy. And I agree with you. I agree with you. Grateful. Yes, being grateful and content too. Content too, being content where we are. Yeah. Isn't that something though? Isn't that something that we're always focused on there instead of being content with where we are? Why is it always about there instead of being content where we are? I guess that's a spin. At the same time, how can you be content when you're miserable? You know what I mean? Like, how can you be content if you know you are living a life that's mediocre? You know you have so much on the inside, all of these ideas, talents. You know you can monetize this and that. How can you be content when you know you're not striving like you can, like you could? There's levels to contentment, I would say. Levels to contentment. And there are some aspects about my life that I'm content with. Definitely. But there's others. Like the society we live in, I'm not content with that. I'm not content with... That's a different video for a different time. I've already talked about it enough. I've been on here longer than what I said. But it's okay. Newt Boy, it's okay. Mistakes happen. But y'all have a good day. If you like what you heard here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to get this education, motivation, innovation so you can be liberated and accelerate. Accelerate in life. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you once again to all of you who jumped on here and made comments and things. All right. Bye.